Good afternoon, everyone. This is a code enforcement hearing for the City of North Miami. Today is August 7th. I'm Rafael Suarez-Rivas, a special magistrate for the City of North Miami. The purpose of our hearing today is to determine if a code violation exists at your property, as observed and cited by a code enforcement officer of the city. If the city is not able to prove its case, then I will dismiss the case and you will leave. These proceedings are being recorded. Therefore, all persons who are speaking, please do so one at a time, and all testimony has to be clearly audible on a recording device. If English is not your primary language, then please inform me when I call your case. We will try to arrange for someone to assist with translation during these proceedings. When your case is called, the property owner, agent for the property owner, or any witness that you have should come forward to the podium on the left side of the room. When asked, please speak directly into the microphone and say aloud your name, your business, your mailing address, and your relationship to the property. If you are not the property owner or an attorney representing the property owner, then you must present a notarized power of attorney affidavit in order for your testimony to be taken on behalf of the property owner. You only need to be concerned about that if you are not the property owner or an attorney. For new cases, you will be asked for the record if you are aware of and understand the violation that is being heard today. And do you understand what is required to resolve the violation? Please answer accordingly. The city will present its case first, then the property owner, alleged violator, will be given an opportunity to testify on their own behalf and bring forward witnesses to testify, to present evidence and photographs, and to cross-examine city witnesses, that is, ask any questions you want. Following the case presentation, I will issue a finding of fact on the case. If I find that a violation of city code exists or existed at your property, then depending on the case type, I will set an abatement date. You know, that's like a time for you to address the violation, for the violation to be resolved, or for repeat violations, I will be inclined to impose a daily fine amount. For new non-repeat cases, my order will include an abatement date by which you must resolve the violation, and a daily fine that may be imposed in a future hearing date should the violation not be resolved by the abatement date. If I find sufficient cause to postpone enforcement action at this time, I will table the case, proceeding to another hearing date in the future. If you do not agree with my finding of fact or ruling, you may appeal the administrative order to circuit court, and appeal must be filed within 30 days. In accordance with Florida statutes, if you decide to appeal any decision of the special magistrate, then the person needs a verbatim record of the proceedings. This record includes the testimony and evidence on which an appeal is based. The cost of obtaining the record will be the sole responsibility of the person filing the appeal, and it is recommended that persons who plan to appeal provide their own court reporter. Pursuant to city codes, if North Miami prevails in prosecuting the case, the special magistrate will find that the city is entitled to recover costs. The current cost assessment is $100 a case. Once the city records an order that imposes a fine and authorizes a lien against the property, the city may charge additional administrative fees to record and release a lien. If you're giving testimony today in a case, that is, if you're going to say anything here, please get up so you can be sworn in.
Including the officers, please rise, raise your right hand, and take the oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please say I do.
I do.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Okay, the code compliance manager will announce any additions, corrections, deletions, and so forth to the hearing agenda, and then we will proceed with the cases after.
Thank you, Your Honor. We do have a number of amendments to the agenda. Most of these are deletions due to compliance, and some for postponement of the case to another hearing calendar. Beginning on the agenda item number 1, Abdul and Tikdir Hassan, KCE BNP 2012-00090 has complied.
Okay. So
Item 2, Anna Sanchez, KCE SWR 2013-00002 has complied. Item 3, Avinia Louis, CEODS 2013-00040 has complied. Item 4, Bayview Lane LLC, KCEBLR 2013-00022 has complied. Turning to the next page. Agenda item 11 and 12, Howard Reinfeld, cases CEPOF 2013-00002 and CEPOM 2013-00018 have both complied. Item 13, Evelyn Estamon, case CEODS 2013-00056 has complied. Item 15, Jacqueline Sampson, case CEMHO 2013-00029 has complied.
Okay.
Item 16, Jean Leniscar, case CEIVY 2013-00160 has complied. Turning
Okay.
to the next page. Item 19, Jose Hinojosa, case CEODS 2013-00048 has complied.
Okay.
Item 22, Luquel Dorsaint, CEPOM 2013-00017 has complied.
Okay.
Item 26, Maurice Serrant, case CEEXP 2013-00048 has complied.
Okay.
Turning to the last page, item 27, Michael Bruce Schultz, case CEPOM 2013-00020 has complied.
Okay.
Item 28, Nationwide Investment Firm Corporation, CEIVY 2013-00137 has complied.
Okay.
Item 29, Norberto Ruben Sierra, case CEODS 2013-00042 has complied.
Okay.
Item 30, Pacifica L52 LLC, case CESDM 2013-00010 has complied.
Okay.
Item 31, Patricia Alfaro, case CEIVY 2013-00154 has complied. Item 32, Rachel Reeves, case CEMIS 2013-00004 postponed to September. And finally, item 33, Tanya Diaz and Shirley Marcus, CEMHO 2013-00017 has complied. Those are the amendments to this evening's agenda.
Okay, the agenda stands amended as announced,
Thank you.
and that's good. We can proceed to the remaining cases.
Very good. We'll start with agenda item number 7. Agenda item 7 for Dominic Borghese and Barbara Ann Larson for the property at 1305 Northeast 130th Street, KCE BLR 2013-00023. This is Miss Christie's case. It is a new case that was open on June 9, 2013. Good evening, sir. Would you please state your name for the record?
Yes, it's Dominic Borghese.
And you are the property owner?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Borghese. You received a notice from the city indicating that you were in violation of city code relating to not having a building address. Did you understand the notice?
Yes, I have a
Okay.
building. Yes.
All right. Ms. Christie is going to explain why she cited you, and then if you have any questions, you can ask her and then make any statement you want to the magistrate. Ms. Christie, if you will begin.
Vita Lynn Christie, Code Compliance, North Miami Police Department. This case was cited back in June in regard to the building address being visible from curbside. I have never spoken to the property owner. I did post a notice to appear, and I do have pictures as of today, for the record.
Okay. Yeah, let him see it, and then I'd like to look at it, please.
There are 2 doors to that.
Mr. Borghese, is this your house?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures. I'm just, when you approach, I see a mailbox, you
Yes.
know, to the left of the front door. Is there a number there?
No, there is not. That's why I actually angled the picture so you can see the visual from the mailbox.
So there's no number around the mailbox either?
I don't see one there.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No, not at this time.
Mr. Borghese, do you have any questions of the code officer? Any questions?
There are two doors to that house, and the original door has numbers on it. It's a jalousie door, and in front of the jalousie door, there is a wrought iron screen door. So that must be blocking the numbers, because there are numbers on the jalousie door, which is the original door to the house. Then I had to put a screen door on the front.
Okay, that's why we have the information directly on the paperwork that I sent you to explain your address or building numbers need to be visible from the street,
Okay?
which it's not.
I can fix that.
Right, it's, I think that the idea is that, you know, for a residence in the city, for terms of postal delivery, you know, and other matters just of convenience and information that someone has to be able to, you know, determine, okay, this is 1305 North, you know, whatever the case is, you know, and not an unknown address.
I understand.
Sir, how much time do you need?
A couple of days.
Okay, so the city would have no objection to postponing this until the next hearing date, so to allow
Yeah.
him to make the repair, and then you would contact the code enforcement officer once you do so. Okay.
Okay, it is so ordered. I think this matter will be continued then to September 4th, 2013, at this time, at, you know, this address, City Hall. And you please comply and, you know, get those numbers up visibly affixed to the wall by that time. Pretty
Can I
straightforward.
put them on the mailbox? Or you prefer?
Well, you have to comply with the code. At that point, I'm going to defer to, the numbers have to be visible from the street. You know, I know that is the idea. And I was just asking if you had them on the mailbox. I wasn't suggesting that that's the place.
Okay.
They're supposed to be like when, you know, visible when someone is looking at, you know, but I'll, you know, I'm going to defer to the city specialist on that.
Sir, the code is written as part of the building code because it's required for not only the postal service, but for police and fire and other emergency. If you have a fire there, that the fire department needs to know exactly where your house is, or if you have an illness and, you know, the rescue has to get there, they have to see the numbers clearly, you know, on the face of the house. So if you could put there somewhere on the face of the house, close to the doors, and the numbers have to be at least 3.5 inches high and in contrasting colors to the base color of the house. You can go buy numbers at Home Depot or Lowe's or almost any hardware store and affix them or paint them yourself. You could even paint them as long as they're 3.5 inches in height. And it costs you almost nothing for a little jar of paint.
Exactly.
And
Okay.
however you accomplish it, once you're done, you contact Miss Christie, and then she'll close the case, so you don't have to come back.
Thank you.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
If you're ready to proceed, we'll go on to the next case, agenda item number 18, John Jelke. John Jelke for the property at 11410 North Bayshore Drive, case CEB&P 2013-00033. This case was opened by Code Officer Pearson back in May 2013. It was adjudicated in July, and the abatement date was August 6th, yesterday. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please state your name for the record.
I'm Michael Cullen. I'm agent for Mr. Jelke.
Tell me I'm sorry.
Agenda item 18.
Okay, number 18, okay.
Number 18.
Right.
Your last name is, you said Cohen?
Yes, KOHN.
Thank you, Mr. Cohen. And also,
Jerry Goodkin, South Beach Construction.
Welcome.
welcome back. Okay, Mr. Kirsten is going to give us an update from the last hearing. Mr. Kirsten.
Ivy Kirsten, City of North Miami Code Compliance Unit of the North Miami Police Department. As of today, there's still no compliance. As of 5:37 p.m., there has been no building application permit submitted to the building department.
And you checked that in the building department records?
Yes, I have a printout of all the history for this particular property, for any permits, any violations, anything that's in our Eden system that will reflect whether or not if a permit application was submitted. And as of 5:37 p.m. today, there has not been anything.
May I see that after you show it to them or whoever?
Yes,
else
ma'am.
might-
Yes, sir.
It's okay.
Okay, there's been various violations, but this one is the one this one's on the first page, right? Of this printout, right? I mean, it's, you must obtain a building permit for the interior remodeling, and that's the one
Correct.
that we're here. Okay, all right.
Right.
If I'm.
Yeah, please, how many prior times has this been here before a magistrate?
For this particular
this violation, right, this
This is the first time.
This is the first time.
Right. Correct.
This is the second time we're here. The last time Jerry was also here, and Mr. Jelke was here also.
And
that
when
was on
was-
July 3rd.
Okay.
And
So-
that was when the case was first presented as a new case, and it was adjudicated at that time.
Yeah, but
And
this is-
was there any, so it was here on July 3rd.
Correct.
Was there any finding made by the magistrate?
Yes, the
that,
magistrate made a finding that the violation did occur and still exists, and the magistrate set the abatement date for August 6th and the next hearing date for this evening.
Okay.
And-
That's what I wanted to
Yes.
find. All right, go ahead. I just wanted
That's
to find
okay.
this out.
The nature of the violation is for interior and.
I'm sorry, man, just, I know you said it before, but when you start talking, I'm sorry, just quickly give your name and company and address.
Oh, Jerry Goodkin Dawsey, South Beach Construction, 16499 Northeast 19th Avenue, North Miami Beach, Florida, 33162.
Okay.
Okay, so the nature of the violation is for work performed without a permit on the inside and the outside of the house. The house is very large. We have hired an architect, and because I had a conversation with Mr. Jackson, and we discussed the best, most cost-effective way to handle this. Since the plans that are in the city, we cannot use because they're very, very old. So we had to hire an architect and remeasure the entire house with all the plumbing, electrical, and mechanical. And he just finished doing the mapping of it right now, and we're going to meet with him next week to make sure that he addressed all of the violations, and then it'll go to the engineers to do the plumbing, electrical, and mechanical work.
So you're going to be submitting
A
plans by
complete-
a registered architect and signed and sealed by,
It's a registered, signed, and sealed architect.
right, okay.
A registered state of Florida
Right,
engineer
engineer, right.
with the calculations, whatever we have to do.
But you haven't done that.
Well, it doesn't take 30 days, Judge, with all due respect. It takes quite some time when there's no plans available to use. It took 4 days just to do the outside of the house. It's a very lengthy process because we're doing a complete as-built set of drawings of the house. And it's very, very lengthy. I do this. I'm also a building official, so I know how long it takes. I know how long it takes to get permits, and I know how time-consuming everything is. We're going as fast as we can possibly go. The house is very large. It's on.
A double.
It was a double. Now it's an oversized, and it's
Right.
it's just a lot of house.
And then all this work started without any.
Yeah, the
Without
work
any-
that was done, really, the removal and replacement, the removal of kitchen cabinetry, the construction of a wall, that's the least of it. The fact that there's nothing on file in the city that Mr. Jackson will let us use because it's very, very, very old, we had to recreate a complete set of plans. Plumbing, electrical, mechanical. It's going to be about 30-page plans when we're done with it, with elevations and everything, because it doesn't only get approved by the city of North Miami. I have to go to Durham,
Right. and
which is
Durham
the
is on-
county, the
right,
fire
right, right.
department. So
Right.
it's going to take us a while, but we are working on it. You know, we hired the architect. We have the MEP engineer, which is Tupac Rea. The architect is Wesley Castellanos. And we're going to have to open up some stuff, verify some stuff, because there's no plans on file. And Mr. Jackson and I, you know, he knows me also, you know,
Right.
this is how we have to do this.
No, I understand, and I appreciate what you're doing. And I just, Mr. Jelke, I have a question. When you started this work, did you,
That's not Mr. Jelke.
I'm Michael Cohn, I'm his agent.
you're his agent?
Yes.
He's not here.
No.
So you're just his agent representing him tonight?
Yes.
Do you have any personal knowledge of this?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, then let me ask you this. Just for the record, again, just state your name and address.
Michael Cohn, 1301 Miami Gardens Drive, North Miami Beach, Florida, 33179.
And you're here as a representative of the owner.
Yes.
And you have a power of, you've been here before, right?
I was here last week,
Okay,
and I
well,
have
fine,
a power
fine,
of
fine,
attorney
Okay.
for this hearing.
When this work started, was it that the owner, just curious, did the owner know that city permits were required, or that just, you know, was, I mean, it's this, I would think the owner's somewhat sophisticated.
I'm not sure if he knew or not. Basically, it was just gutting a kitchen, you know, and a wall.
Your Honor, I'd like
But-
to interject. It was more than just gutting the kitchen, but just to give you some insight, I had issued a $500 civil violation ticket the day that we actually found that the violation existed, and the building official and I, we went out and we placed a stop work order on the property. So, I mean, it's
So
not,
that was I mean, they did stop the work, right?
they did stop the
So I know
work.
some contractors just ignore that and keep on, they did stop the work.
Right,
Okay,
the work-
all right.
they did stop,
Okay.
and like I said, they were issued a $500 civil citation, which they paid, but it's more than just removal of kitchen cabinets and remodeling, and the building official knows, they know it's going to take some time for them to do what they need to do.
Yeah.
So
Because it's
The house,
expensive.
Your Honor, the house is vacant.
Yeah, the house.
it is vacant.
There's just a
Okay,
couple
the house
fish
is
there. We
vacant.
go feed it once a day.
There's
Feed the
oysters
fish,
in the pond. We just, Michael
And-
feeds it.
Okay.
and we're just maintaining the lawn.
Okay, the house is vacant, all right.
Yes.
What would, okay, I think I've understood enough. I mean, the work was being done unpermitted, but it has been here before. It's been here July 3rd, and the magistrate gave till August 6th. By the same token, I'm mindful that getting building permits and architectural and engineering approvals take a while. So does the city have any recommendation in this regard?
We wouldn't have objection to allow them an additional 30 days to report back to us.
Yeah, we could come back for a report in 30 days, but there's no way I can do compliance in 30 days.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, that's a given.
How long
How
would
long?
it take for
It'll
compliance?
take me 30 days just to get my first go-around in the building department.
How long would it take for compliance?
Probably 90, 120.
Okay, I would be willing to give them 60 days for a report rather
And
than
we'll
30
show
days, since they're
progress.
probably just going to
We're
tell
bringing
us that.
documents to show progress.
Yeah,
Right.
we're gonna, I'll bring you the,
But I would also recommend adjudication at this time, since this is probably going to, if it hasn't been adjudicated, okay.
It has.
So,
What's the fine amount?
No fine amount was established.
We paid a $500.
Right, but that's different. That was
Citation.
a stop work.
And the special magistrate didn't impose any fines
She said that was more than enough.
Yeah, she said it was more than enough. Listen, it's costing us a lot of money right now.
I would leave it to your discretion, Your Honor. We would just recommend the 60 days and leave it to your discretion in terms of court costs for today.
I think that under the circumstances, what we will do is we will provide for a report and abatement for 60 days from now, which is going to be the hearing scheduled for October 2nd. At 6 p.m. at North Miami, City Hall here. And I think that while I'm mindful that the process takes a while, my own opinion is that at that hearing, if substantial progress isn't documented and submitted, that the magistrate, I'm going to err on the side of caution and not do it today, but the magistrate on October 2nd, I would recommend should make a finding of a violation and impose the applicable fine. I think that the $100 court cost, which I will impose, is justifiable because city personnel have had to be involved in this and will continue to be on an ongoing basis. So that is my order. Okay?
Thank you for coming.
Do you understand?
Right.
With some paperwork to Mr. Sharkey.
Okay. And we're
Yeah, I
gonna
got it in my,
we're
yeah.
gonna skip next month. and come
Hopefully
60
I'll be
days.
Right, but you're gonna have to, when you come back, you're gonna have to not just sit here and say, you're gonna have to have some document showing
well, I
that
couldn't bring you.
you're, no, at that time,
Hopefully I have a permit by
Right, yeah,
by then.
hopefully so, yeah.
Not,
Oh, yeah,
or
right.
processed already.
Hey, Jerry. Well said.
Right. It is, thank you.
Go to Mr.
Right.
Sharkey's house?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have a warrant with you? Because I can also send you a copy of it. Yeah, table to October 7th. Plus 100.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll send you copies of the paper.
Okay,
All right, great.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I think you're gonna have, speaking out loud, I think you're gonna have a fair amount of defaults tonight because, unless my eyes are deceiving me, there's only one other,
No, this is Gene is our translator.
the
and,
translator.
We will
So,
excuse him
okay.
at this time.
so everything, okay.
Thank
so
you.
then-
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
My goodness.
And,
So everything else, there's no one here to defend?
yeah, it's now 6:35. We have no other property owners or attorneys or other interested parties present. However, we do have a number of cases that we will present to you ex parte. If the officers will come forward, we'll go right through these.
Okay,
And Sergeant Blanchard, if you want to 06, you're out of here. We're done, essentially, because we have no other property owners here. So thank you for your presence this evening. All right, we'll start with Code Officer Kierson. Agenda item number 5. Agenda item 5, Citibank North America, for the property at 12605 Hickory Road, case CEDRP 2013 00001. And this is a new case.
Good evening, Ivy Kirsten, City of North Miami Code Compliance Unit of the North Miami Police Department. This is property 12605 Hickory Road, City Bank. This is an occupied property. It's not homesteaded. And
This is not
no,
homestead property.
I'll take, yeah, it is not homesteaded. It's a non-homesteaded property, and there are no life safety issues on this property. This property was initially cited back on May 25th for illegal renting of dock space, where I noticed that the property was being, I noticed that the property had several boats in the back, and I encountered one person who admitted to me that he was renting the dock space. I issued a civil violation ticket to the property owner. I have not had any contact with the bank. The property's still in violation. The same boats are there. I'd like to submit the pictures for the record.
And just to point of interest to me, how do you, as a code compliance officer, determine that that is being rented as opposed to people tying up their boats there at will, or does the city code presume that it's being rented, or it's just a point that comes to my mind?
Well, like I stated earlier, when I first saw the violation, I noticed. Let me backtrack. I noticed that there was a fuel truck in front of the property.
Okay.
And I saw a gentleman coming from the back. Being that I know the area, I didn't know the gentleman. I asked him, what was he doing, and he explained to me that he was fueling his boat. And then that's when he told me that he was renting the dock space from that particular, well, I know it wasn't the property owner, it was the tenant that was there. So when he told me that, I told him that he's not allowed to do that. And that's when I went ahead and I proceeded to issue a civil violation ticket to the property owner. And the same boat, like I said, as you'll see, I have pictures here from the date when I initially saw the violation back on May 25th. You'll see the fuel truck along with the same boat that's there, and the same boat that was there last month, and the same boat that's there, the same two boats that were there earlier today.
So you're basing the fact that I just want to establish that it's rented because I just, for the record, but I realize you're not here because you got this. Someone made this admission to you. Someone told you, right? Okay.
Basically,
all right. I've read enough. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I got it. What is the city requesting in this particular case?
The city's position is that the violation did exist and continues to exist. This is a new case, so the city is requesting that a finding be issued in favor of the city that the violation exists, and set an abatement date for September 3rd in order for the property owner to bring this particular code violation into compliance and have the boats removed.
I find that, based upon the testimony, there is a violation of unlawful rental of dock space, and I do find that, that there has been a non-compliance, and that is my finding. The court costs of $100 are hereby imposed, and the responsible party under the law will have till September 3rd to correct this. If not, it would be my strong recommendation that the magistrate at that time impose a $50 per day fine for the violation commencing on September 4th. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
is so ordered, and here's the file.
Very good. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 6, Ms. Christie's case against David Ronda for the property address of 1160 Northeast 141st Street. This is a new case, CEMHO 2013-00024, opened on April 19, 2013. For the front window is broken and missing portions of glass and needs to be secured. Ms. Christie.
Fiedel and Christie, Code Compliance, City of North Miami Police Department. This is a vacant home. I have not made any contact with the property owner. Property was posted on the 22nd with the notice to appear. Certified mail was also sent to the property, and I do have pictures for the record.
Yeah, let me see those, please. Do you know, is this homestead property? Do you know?
Actually, on the chart that you.
All right, I see, wait, I see. I believe it is. Is this, do you?
No one has lived there for about,
Right, that's my
A
other
couple.
question. Right,
no, for about 2 to 3 years.
okay, you know that for, okay.
Yes.
Well, the violation's very clear on the photographs. What is the city's recommendation in regard to this case?
Again, based upon the evidence and testimony, the city is seeking a finding in favor of the city that the violation did exist and still exists. That the city would recommend an abatement date of September 3rd should the for compliance, and should it not comply, then the case would be brought forward again on September 4th. And the city is also seeking court costs for this evening.
I find that the violation has occurred and continues to occur based on the testimony and evidence that I've heard. The owner will have till September 3rd to abate. Court costs of $100 are imposed. Based on the photographs, it seems like a substantial violation, presenting security and health issues with the house. And the fine I would recommend commencing on September 4th, if this has not been remediated or cured by that period, would be $100 per day.
Good, thank you. We'll now proceed to agenda item number 8. Agenda item 8, Code Officer Fitzell's case against Elba A. Mercado for the property located at 775 Northeast 144th Street, KCE EXP 2013-00101. This is a new case opened by Code Officer Fitzell on May 21st, 2013. Code Officer Fitzell.
Edmund Fitzell, City of North Miami Police Department Code Enforcement Division. This property was cited under 5-46 of the City Code ordinance for the paint on the property. The paint on the property is peeling. The property was cited originally on May 22nd of 2013. There was no compliance. The property was mailed a notice to appear on July 22nd, and July 24th the property was posted with notice to appear. As of today, there is no compliance. Here are some of the photos.
Okay, so this is peeling paint on the driveway and on the house and on the area under the roof and
Right, the roof, the house, the
house,
fascia.
okay, right, the fascia, right. Okay, it's clear on here. What would the city's recommendation be in this regard?
The city's recommendation, based upon the testimony and the photographic evidence, that the violation does exist, and the city is seeking a finding that it exists, and it still exists today. The city would recommend an abatement date of September 3rd to bring it into compliance, and if not, we'll be back for a hearing September 4th, and the city is seeking court costs.
I think that there is a violation, and I think that we will, note that the violation is evident from the photos. So the violation continues, and I so find court costs of $100 are imposed. We'll give till September 3rd for there to be abatement, and in this particular instance, I will leave it to the discretion of the hearing officer who is hearing the matter on September 4th as to whether what other course may be taken at that time. I'm not going to make a recommendation this particular
Thank you.
matter.
Very good. Moving on to agenda item number 9, Ms. Christie's case against Frankie Serafin for the property 1020 Northeast 129th Street, case CEBLR 2013-00018. This case was opened on May 28, 2013 for a failure to have the building address visible from the street. The case was adjudicated in July 3rd and with an abatement date of August 6, 2013. A fine amount of $25 a day was established at the last hearing. Ms. Christie.
Friedel and Christie, Code Compliance, City of North Miami Police Department. Notice to appear was posted on the property on July 22nd. I did meet with the property owner in the office yesterday, 8/6. Informed him that the address still needed to be done. As of today's inspection, the property has no address. I do have pictures for the record.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Inspector. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just telling you that the pictures reflect no address.
Let me look at the pictures a moment. What I want to know is, did it come up in your conversation with the owner why they hadn't corrected? I mean, this violation is so easy to correct.
He stated that he would do it in the
He would do it?
conversation. Yes.
Okay, because this involves going down to Ace or somewhere and buying the. Okay. all right.
I did give several suggestions, even if he wanted to paint it.
You would allow it to be painted on with a stencil?
Well, he has
Right. Okay. All right.
the numbers. He just needs to highlight them because he's painted over it so much.
Oh, I see. The numbers are there, but
It's on a wooden door.
Okay, I can't see them, but all right. I can't.
No one
discern
could see
any-
them,
okay, all
actually.
right. All right. What is the? I consider this. What is the city's recommendation in this regard?
Because this has been going on for so long, and based upon the testimony of the code officer and the photos taken today, we seek a finding that the violation still exists, and the fine amount was already established at a maximum of $25 a day. That's within your discretion whether you want to keep it there or lower it. The city would seek court costs in any event.
Well, I would tell you that the violation still exists. Court costs of $100 are still, are imposed because the violation has not been corrected. I do, consider this not a major violation. It's true the number is invisible, but it was there, and it seems to have occurred through, just excessive painting. I mean, look, I think $25 per day is more than, I mean, if you're asking me, I would say that this kind of violation, I would put it at 15 a day,
Okay.
I mean, it's a very, very minor violation until corrected. But yeah, I would continue to accrue until the date of abatement, and the court costs of $100 are imposed. It still exists. That's my order.
Thank you.
Okay.
Moving on, agenda item number 10, Code Officer Wilcox case against Hilaires Shirleska and Ancelot Shirleska for the property at 415 Northwest 129th Street, case CEBNP 2013-00026. This is a new case opened on April 29, 2013, to obtain permits for electrical, plumbing, structural, and mechanical work for the rear structure located behind the property. Mr. Wilcox.
Yes, Officer Wilcox, City of North Miami Code Compliance. The property address is 415 Northwest 129th Street. This is a building without permit case. I did speak with the owner of the property. I issued a civil violation ticket at first. I have not heard anything from the property owner in reference to permits. As of today, there's no permits on file. I'd like to submit in the photos into record.
So, I mean, this rear structure behind the property, what is it, like a guest house, a shed, something, a garage?
Like a guest house.
Well, let me be sure I'm understanding this here. This, where the brick is, this structure it's like a new structure being built, is that?
Correct.
Okay, so this is an actual, not like doing things to an existing, this is the building of a
Building
new unpermitted.
Yes.
I just want to be sure I understand that.
Yes,
because to me,
yes.
that's more serious than rewiring some existing non-conforming.
The other pictures will depict all of the work that's being done.
Well, this is a serious violation, in my opinion. I'm sorry if I didn't focus on this. Have you had an actual conversation with the people involved?
Yes.
And what have they said?
They said it was going to come and try to obtain the permits. Try to obtain some permits for the building of that structure in the back. Like I said,
Could something like this be permitted? I mean, it looks.
I don't know. They have to go to the building department to find out.
Well, I'm only asking because I don't love. We're not going to get into, but this seems to extend from one building to another building.
Correct.
And usually there's a setback requirement, in the law, and it's like, okay, I'm in point A, and there's a house at point B, and I'm going to build something just for the full space, but usually that's
yes,
problematic.
Yes, correct.
So or not disallowed.
Right.
Okay. All right. What this is what did the violator say what the structure was intended for?
Well, I assume it's going to be a living quarters.
Okay.
They might try to rent it out or live in there. I don't know what their intention was for us building that structure in the back.
But this is not even a freestanding. I mean, that's another. I mean, the pictures don't lie, but this is not a freestanding building in someone's backyard. This is connected from between one building and the other, right?
Correct. Well, you have the main house in the front, and in the back of the house you have a structure, okay, where someone is living at. So basically, what they did was trying to extend that structure in the rear of the property, where you see the bricks are located.
Okay. All right. What does the city what is the city requesting in this respect? This case.
Based upon the code officer's testimony and photographic evidence, It's apparent that, and the testimony that there are no building permits on file. The city is seeking a finding in favor of the city that the violation exists and continues to exist. We're seeking a short abatement date in order to obtain, to start working on permits. We would recommend abatement date of September 3rd, and city is also seeking court costs.
I find, based on the testimony and evidence, that the violation exists and continues to exist. I find it to be a serious violation in that their code, public health, safety concerns with the unpermitted structure that appears in the photographs could create several public safety and public health issues. So we will afford till September 3rd for an abatement date. I do consider this a substantial violation, and I think that if some contact or some abatement has not been commenced or started or made known to the city in a real way by that time, I would recommend a fine in this case of $250 a day, yeah, court costs of $100 are hereby imposed.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 14, Ms. Christie's case against Jackson and Marie Toussaint, who own the property at 1020 Northeast 142nd Street. This is another building without permit case, CE BNP 2013-00025. Case was open on April 25th, 2013 for a wooden structure in the rear yard not being permitted. Ms. Christie.
Vita Lynn Christie, Code Compliance, North Miami Police Department. This case was cited back in April in regards to a rear structure being erected. I did make contact with the property owner, who stated that he would come to the city and attempt to acquire the necessary permits. As of today, he has not put in an application. I did post the notice to appear. He also signed the green card, but he's obviously not here. I do have pictures for the record.
Okay, please, let me see those. Okay, this seems more, I mean, Inspector, you'd know from your experience more than I, but this seems more like an unpermitted storage or tool shed or something of that kind. I mean, I can't imagine this is intended to be a residence.
No, he's not actually going to be living there. What he
Right.
wants to do is move his items from inside the house, as he says, and put them there while he does his entire house over.
Okay, so this is some kind of
It's like
intended storage
yes,
facility.
but it's large.
It is large?
Yes, it is.
This is large? Okay.
It doesn't, because I don't want to go in the backyard. He has quite a bit of things in the backyard. So I'm actually a little bit a ways away.
Okay, what does the city recommend in this particular case?
Based upon the officer's testimony and photographic evidence, and seeing that this is a storage type wood structure in the yard without any kind of permit, the city is seeking a finding that the violation exists and still exists today. The city would seek an abatement date of September 3rd for the property owner to either tear down the structure or at least start the building permit process. The city is also seeking court costs for this evening's case presentation.
A violation does exist. That's clear from the testimony and the evidence. Because of that, that court costs of $100 are imposed. An abatement date of September 3rd will be given. And, this is a wooden structure, easy to remove. And I would in this particular case, I would again defer to the hearing officer hearing the matter at that particular September hearing as to what any per diem should be. But I do find that there's a violation, and that's a period to cure it, and that's my finding.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 17, Ms. Christie's case against Jean Laniskar and others for the property at 1161 Northeast 141 Street. Case CEODS 2013-00033. This was a case for outdoor storage for items being stored on the front porch and side yards. This case was open in April 19, 2013. It was adjudicated last month on July 3rd, 2013, with the abatement date of August 6th. A fine amount was already established not to exceed $50 a day. Ms. Christie.
Vidal and Christie, Code Compliance, City of North Miami Police Department. I did make contact with the property owner, explained what the situation was, how he could rectify the problem or the violation at the resident. He is trying, however, he has a lot more to go. And I found out also that he is now bringing the items to the rear of the house because he knows you can't really walk to get to that portion of the house because there's so much to get by. I do have pictures for the record.
So you mean that he's doing this intentionally because he knows you can't get easy access back there? Is that what you mean to say?
Well, he has the gate chained up now, but you can't really walk back there because he has so much. And
So
there are
unless he
rodents
took
and
you in,
stuff.
unless he consented to take you in through,
He would not be able to force me to go back there. There's too much. And
There's
animals going back there.
there's animals back there.
Yes. I do have pictures for the record.
All right, yes. Well, viewing the photographs and hearing the testimony, there is an extensive amount of debris and junk and refuse back there, and something that looks like it's some kind of tank. Hopefully not a combustible. I don't know, but what is the city? It is extensive, and I agree that's a substantial violation. What is the city requesting in this regard?
Okay. Based upon the testimony of the code officer and the photographic evidence and the fact that the violations still exist and the fact that this case was already adjudicated on July 3rd and that the abatement date is passed and there is no compliance, the city is seeking that a fine be imposed not to exceed $50 a day at the discretion of the magistrate, and the city is also seeking court costs for this evening's case presentation.
Based on the testimony, notably the photographs and the evidence adduced, There is most clearly a violation, and the court costs of $100 are hereby imposed, and as is the per diem, the daily fine of $50 a day, which will be continued until
Thank
there's
you.
compliance.
Okay, moving on to agenda item number 20, Code Officer Kearson's case against Keystone Jewish Center Incorporated for the property address of 1830 Northeast Keystone Boulevard. Case CESDM 2013-00005. This is a case that was opened March 20th, 2013. The case was adjudicated on June 5th, 2013, with an abatement date of July 2nd. Prior to the hearing on July 3rd, the case was postponed to this evening. Code Officer Kearson will give us a report.
Ivy Kearson, City of North Miami Code Compliance Unit of the North Miami Police Department. As of today, there is no compliance. The property remains in the same condition. The sod has not been planted in the swale.
Okay, I happen to think that I recall this case, and I think that case was, my recollection is that this particular case was one that was presented initially at another evening that I was, but let me ask you this, in that time period, Inspector, has there been any communication between you and the owner?
Well, I knew that the owner left the property, and he did state to me that he was moving and that he left the power of attorney to someone else to actually sell the property. I have been in contact with that person, and they are aware of the violation, but
They haven't done anything.
no,
So this property is no longer being used. It's
vacant.
It's vacant.
Yes.
Okay. What is the city's request, or what is the city's what is the city's recommendation in this regard
Okay.
to this case?
Based upon the code officer's testimony and based on the fact that this case has already been adjudicated on June 5th, 2013, and the fact that there has been no effort to substantially comply and cure this violation, and based upon the fact that a fine amount has already been established not to exceed $25 a day, the city would seek a finding that the violation still exists, and we're asking for the fine to be ratified and for court costs to be imposed for this evening's case presentation.
I find that in the case of Keystone Jewish Center, violation still exists. The daily fine of $25 per day is hereby ratified until compliance, and the $100 court costs are imposed.
Thank you. And do you want the fine to start today or go back to the abatement, the day after the abatement date?
Okay, good. I think that under the circumstances of the nature of this violation, I would I would recommend that the fine start today.
Okay. Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 21, Ms. Christie's case against Lazaro Grails for the property at 1070 Northeast 130th Street, case CEEXP 2013-00087. This case was open on May 9, 2013. It was heard on July 3rd and tabled to today. Ms. Christie.
Rita Lynn Christie, Code Compliance, City of North Miami Police Department. I have not made any additional contact with the property owner since the last meeting, when he was present and advised that of how he could rectify the violation. The property was posted on July 22nd with the notice to appear. Green card has also been received, and no changes have been made to the building.
And no other contact.
And no
has
other
been had.
contact. I do have pictures for the record.
Let me just quickly see them. please. Now, just, you know, if you know, because I mean, this is sort of a building construction, could this issue with the awnings be cured by, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily need to replace an awning. What I'm asking is, could you blast it or you know?
Yes, you can. He actually
Okay.
blasted a portion of it, but just decided not to do anymore.
Okay, but you can blast it.
Yes, you can.
All right. What is the city's request in regard to this particular matter?
Okay, based upon the code officer's testimony and the photographic evidence presented, the city would seek a finding that the violation still exists, seeing that this is a new case and we need an adjudication. We would recommend abatement date of September 3rd, with a subsequent hearing on September 4th if it's not brought into compliance. The city would also seek court costs for this evening's case presentation.
A violation exists and continues to exist for this property. As such, the $100 court cost is hereby imposed. Violators will have till September 3rd to abate this violation, and if not, I would, I myself would recommend to the subsequent, hearing officer that a per diem fine of $25 a day be imposed in this instance. That'll be up to the hearing officer, and that is my order.
Very good, thank you. Next is agenda item 23, Ms. Christie's case against Marie A. Cherry and Exil Sanvilu for the property at 975 Northeast 138th Street, case CEPOM 2013-00014. This is a new case, open on May 29, 2013, for an unmaintained swimming pool. Ms. Christie.
Riedel and Christie, Code Compliance, City of North Miami Police Department. This case was opened back in May in regards to an unmaintained pool in the rear of the property. I have made contact with the property owner, who advised me that he would take care of the pool. July 22nd, notice to appear was posted. Did not receive the green card back, but as of this afternoon, the pool remains the same. I do have photos for the record.
You were there this afternoon? Or
Yes, I was.
Okay, all right. Let me just quickly look at those. Yeah, the dismal condition of the pool is evident from the photographs. What is the city's request relative to this particular case?
Based upon the code officer's testimony and photographic evidence, and based on the fact that this is a new case and there's been no compliance, the city is seeking a finding that the violation exists and continues to exist. City would seek a short abatement date due to the nature of the violation of an unmaintained swimming pool. We would recommend an abatement date of September 3rd, a subsequent hearing on September 4th if there's no compliance. And the city would seek a court case prosecution costs for this evening's case presentation.
Based on the testimony, evidence, and photographs, the violation exists and continues to exist. The court costs of $100 are hereby imposed. An abatement date of September 3rd is hereby imposed, and it will be at the discretion of the special magistrate, but I would recommend for consideration, a fine of $50 a day if it has not been abated. It looks like a very seriously polluted pool. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Agenda Item 24, Code Officer Wilcox case against Marie Rosette Charles for the property located at 580 Northwest 128th Street, case CE IVY 2013-00162. Case was a new case opened on June 6, 2013 to remove a wrecked silver car from the driveway or repair it and have a valid license plate. Code Officer Wilcox.
Yes, Officer Wilcox, City of North Miami Code Compliance. Property address is 580 Northwest 128th Street. The property is homesteaded. I do have the green card attached to the file. The property was posted with a notice to appear on July 29, 2013. This is for an inoperable vehicle on private property, a wrecked vehicle with a invalid tag. I'm going to submit the photos into record.
I always want to know, so, I mean, it's a running question for me, so if the inspector who's up here knows, has there been, I don't mean at the time of the first violation, but any recent contact with the violator, anything about, were they planning on doing anything, or?
Yes, the violator was contacted by posting the property by mail, and also I did speak with the property owner about the vehicle. She just don't want to remove the vehicle from the property. There's nothing we can do for her to remove the vehicle.
Right. No, it's private. I mean,
Right.
I have one other. The vehicle is, I can see there's a serious, front end accident. Is that visible from the street?
Yes.
That is?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Right. What would the city request relative to this case?
The city is seeking a finding in favor of the city. This is a new violation that was opened in June 6th. The violation exists and continues to exist today. The city is seeking a short abatement date of September 3rd, 2013, and subsequent hearing on September 4th. The city is also seeking case prosecution costs to cover for the case presentation this evening.
Yes.
Based on the testimony and photographs, the violation exists and continues to exist. Considering it as a new violation, there will be a short abatement date requested by the city of September 3rd set. In this particular instance for this violation, it will be up to the, I'm not going to recommend the fine amount, it will be up to the subsequent magistrate to exercise his or her consideration. But the court costs, there being violation of $100 are hereby imposed.
Thank you. Next case will be Agenda Item 25, Code Officer Sanders case against Marvin Johnson and Blanche Johnson for the property at 1085 Northwest 122nd Street, case CEFAW 2013-00037. This case was opened May 16, 2013. It was adjudicated last month on July 3rd, 2013, with the abatement date of August 6, 2013. A fine amount not to exceed $25 a day was established at the last hearing. Ms. Sanders.
Shanna Sanders, City of North Miami Code Compliance Officer. As already stated, this is a case of a non-maintenance of a fence. As of today, approximately 2:30, the fence still remains in the same condition. I have not had any contact with the property owner or any listing agents, but again, as of today, it still remains a non-compliance. I will have pictures if you would like to see.
Yes, and I'd like to just look at them a minute. And how when this was here before, what abatement date was established?
The abatement date was August 6th, and at the last hearing, nobody was present to represent the property. And the last hearing, the testimony was that this is an unoccupied property with no life safety issues.
That's correct.
There is no life safety issue here. It's just the fence. That portion of the fence is inoperable, or
At least none that I'm aware of, but the fence still.
well, none
is.
that you've seen, right?
None that I've seen or am aware of.
Okay. What is the city's recommendation in this regard?
The city's recommendation is that, based upon the officer's testimony and photographs, and the fact that there is no compliance and no contact with the property owner agent, and the fact that the case has already been adjudicated on July 3rd, and the abatement date of August 6th has come and passed, there is no compliance. The city is seeking a fine be imposed at this time not to exceed $25 a day. And the city is also seeking case prosecution costs for this evening's case presentation.
Okay, I find that they're based on the testimony, evidence, and photographs. There is a violation, and it continues. And the court costs of $100 are hereby imposed. Based on my estimation of the gravity of this violation, I think that I will impose daily fine amount, but it will be $15.
Thank you. Next case is agenda item number 34, Code Officer Fitzell case against Trevor Daniel and Andreen McIntosh for the property at 710 Northeast 145th Street. Case CEPOM 2013-00009. This case was opened by Code Officer Fitzell on April 26, 2013. The case was adjudicated back on June 5, 2013, with an abatement date of June 18, 2013. Prior to the hearing in July, the case was postponed to this evening. A fine amount not to exceed $100 a day has already been set back on the June 5th hearing. Code Officer Fitzell.
Officer Fitzell, the City of North Miami Code Enforcement Division. This property was cited on May 22nd. It was a complaint. Property was cited. The case was scheduled for the August 7th hearing. Notice to appear was mailed out on July 22nd. The property was posted with notice to appear on July 24th. Affidavit of service was filed. This is a homesteaded property. Property owner did apply for a permit, but it hasn't been issued because the permit was denied because of setback issues. They built a fence on this property. This is cited under Section 5-60 for a building without a permit. I do have some photos for the hearing officer to see.
Okay. So the permit was denied because of setback issues, and it's probably asking for too much detail, I'm sure, but does...
Well, according to Section 5-901, general standards, this fence is now allowed within 25 feet from the yard setback per the code. I have a copy of from the building department.
No, I understand the setback. Is there any variance or waiver provision under, or he did try to get it permitted? Do you know if he's trying to go to the zoning board or anything like that?
This is as far as it went, so I guess when it was denied,
He
he's
didn't
just...
do anything
He's I guess he's upset, I don't know.
Excuse
I don't
me,
know.
Your Honor. And Code Officer Fitzell, in my review of this is a pool maintenance case and not the pool fence case. This is for unmaintained pool.
Okay. I gave you the wrong one.
Okay, that's why I'm stopping you at this time, so we don't want to make a ruling.
Right,
on
no,
a
let's
case that's
forget everything
incorrect.
we heard about the fence and start again with the pool one.
This was
And-
the unmaintained pool.
Okay, why
This
don't we-
is case CEPOM 2013-00009.
And what number?
And agenda item 34.
Okay, because I think he was referring to 35, actually, right? Yeah, okay.
35 is a building
Right,
permit
right,
case,
right,
which
right,
is the
right.
next case.
Right.
Okay,
So this is on the pool, swimming pool maintenance.
okay.
Was 35 our next one?
Yes. But that's a different property owner,
No, it was different,
property
okay.
address.
Go-
So
yeah, go ahead.
let's
All right.
backtrack.
Right, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. Go
Ed
ahead.
Fitzell, City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer with the City of North Miami Police Department. This case has already been adjudicated. This is a homesteaded property. This is a health issue, and this had an abatement date of June 18th at $100 per day fine. This property was posted with a notice to appear on July 22nd, and the property was posted on July 24th when an affidavit of service was filed. The pool, as of today, remains in the same condition, black, dirty water. Would you like to see the photos?
Yeah, let me just quickly look at the photos. And there hasn't been any recent contact with the owner?
They
Anything
refused
further?
to call me and pick up the phone or answer the door
You've tried, right?
on several occasions.
Okay, I do remember. Okay. Yeah, this is based on the testimony and evidence. This is this substantial pool cleanliness violation. What is the city requesting relative to this case?
The city is seeking a finding that the violation still exists based upon the fact and testimony of Code Officer Fitzell and the photographic evidence, and the fact that the case was already adjudicated on June 5th and there is no compliance effort on behalf of the property owner, and most importantly that it's the swimming pool is in its condition is a significant health issue for the property and neighboring properties. The city is seeking a finding that a fine be imposed today, retroactive to the abatement date. The day after the abatement date, the fine to start on June 19th, and the city is also seeking case prosecution costs for this evening's case prosecution.
Based upon the testimony and photographs adduced, the violation exists and continues to exist. It is a serious pool violation which presents a substantial hazard to public health, safety, and general welfare. $100 court costs are imposed. The fine amount is retroactive to the date after the abatement date and will continue until there is compliance. And if you know it's getting late, and you'll pardon me if I, but did you say that the fine amount had been set?
The
Yes.
fine amount was
Right,
established.
that's what I thought.
Yes, on June
Okay,
5th.
that same fine amount will continue and it'll be retroactive to the date after the abatement date. Okay?
Very
Okay.
good.
It's so ordered.
Thank you. The next case is agenda item 35 against Tyler V. Duchesne for the property. It's 681 Northeast 121st Street. Case CEBNP 2013-00039. A new case opened by Code Officer Fitzell on May 22nd for building offense without a permit.
Officer
I
Patel,
think
the
we'll-
City of North Miami Code Enforcement Officer with the North Miami Police Department. This property was originally cited on May 22nd under 5-60, the building without permit. This property was posted with a notice to appear on July 22nd. It was mailed a notice to appear on July 22nd, excuse me. July 24th, the property was posted, the affidavit of service was filed. They did apply for a permit, as said earlier. Permit was denied for the setback reasons. As of today, there's still, the fence still remains up and there's no permit issued. You don't need to see the photos again, do you?
No, I saw them before, and actually I will, adopt and consider this testimony and the one that you gave some minutes ago when we precipitously started hearing this case. What is the city's request relative to this matter?
Okay. Based on the code officer's testimony and the photographic evidence presented, and based on the fact that the violation still exists and that the property owner has at least applied for the permit, but then it was denied, the city is seeking a finding in favor of the city. The violation exists. And we'd ask for an abatement date of September 3rd, and should he not get his permit by that date, then we would be back September 4th. City is also seeking case prosecution costs for this evening's case presentation.
Based upon the testimony, and the evidence presented, I find that the violation exists and continues to exist. The court costs of $100 are hereby imposed. And even though the violator is absent, I do find that there's a substantial equity in the violator attempting to get this permitted and attempting to have it complied. I will give a abatement date of October 1st, 2013. And if there has been no abatement by that time, the special magistrate at that time can consider what fine to impose in this particular matter.
Very good. Thank you. And,
What was the abatement date?
October
1st.
October 1st abatement date, and a follow-up hearing on October 2nd.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Thank you. Sorry for the confusion.
Thank you. No problem. And our last case this evening is agenda item 36, Code Officer Kearson's case against Valentin Duribe for the property at 11620 Canal Drive, case CEMIS 2013-00012. This is a new case opened on June 18, 2013 for lack of maintenance and deteriorated condition of the property. Code Officer Kearson.
Code Officer Kearson, Ivy Kearson of the City of North Miami Police Department. This is a new case. Property address is 11620 Canal Drive. This is a vacant property. The property owner is Valentin Duribe. It is a non-homesteaded property. This property was cited for depreciation of surrounding properties. This property has several other running fines for other various code violations that still exist on the property. This property is in foreclosure. I've had some discussions via email with the property maintenance company. They can't go onto the property and do anything as far as clean it up until the foreclosure proceedings have actually gone through. I'm sorry.
But I just wonder. Well, it's not our. Just as a point of interest, because it has nothing to do with our ruling here. But I'm just curious. I would be surprised that an owner undergoing foreclosure would hire a property maintenance firm. I would think that it would be the bank foreclosing.
Well, yeah, it's the bank.
It's the bank.
It's the bank. Yeah.
And the bank is saying that they will not authorize.
Well, that's
what I think.
This is the property. This is via email. The conversation that I've been having via email through from the property maintenance company. This property is registered with us as a vacant property.
Okay.
And like I said, they because the property has just been unmaintained, it's constantly overgrown. They have issues with their roof. They have two inoperable vehicles that's been on the property for years, and the property is just a mess. And like I said, it's just an eyesore. It's a nuisance, and they were cited under this. I cited them under the Code Section 5-43 for its depreciation of surrounding properties, and I'd like to just submit the pictures.
Yeah, let me see them, please.
As you can see, there's a blue tarp that's on top of the roof. That's because of the roof violation that I cited them for. It has a leaky roof.
How long is that tarp?
That tarp just recently went up. I'd say maybe a month ago.
Okay.
So but the property is just in disarray. It's a nuisance. Something needs to be done, and this is just another tool for us to try and get them to actually bring this property into compliance.
Your Honor, a question through you to Code Officer Kirsten. Code Officer Kirsten, have you received any complaints from neighboring properties?
Yes, I have.
As to the condition of this property?
Yes, I
And
have.
what have those been? That's a good question.
Yes, they have. They're constantly. There were complaints initially about the overall condition of the property. Then there was a pool that was in the back of the property that initially had cited, but the company actually put a cover over the pool, so that
So you can't cite that the pool is
the
now
pool
covered.
the violation has been abated, but it's just still because I'm constantly having to issue more orders to have the property cut, and it's just an eyesore. And
So overgrown foliage, the roof, and is there anything else the neighbors have complained about?
just the appearance of it, because it's constantly overgrown, and then I guess snakes and other critters that are crawling from the property, and they just don't like the way it looks. You know?
And how long is, I mean, if you know, how long has this foreclosure been pending? Do you know?
I really don't know.
Okay.
But I know that property has been vacant for some time, and it's had some issues for some time. I know for a fact those two vehicles have been there for at least
A year or more.
no, they've been there for maybe more than that. I say at least close to 5 years.
Inoperable vehicles?
Inoperable vehicles. They've been there.
And, well, here's a question I have relative to, sort of related to what you were asked, which is, how long have you been dealing or conversing with this property management company about this property? More or less.
More or less, maybe a few months, because we have a abandoned property registration clerk who I'll have her have all the dialogue. She would have the dialogue with the companies, and they would send me some emails. I say I've been maybe a couple of months. Maybe
6 months or so, maybe?
Not even that many. Maybe 2 or 3 months.
Maybe 2 or 3 months. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. What is the city requesting in regard to this particular code violation?
This is a new case, and based upon Code Officer Kirsten's testimony and photographic evidence, the city is seeking a finding in favor of the city that the violation exists. The city would seek a short abatement date of September 3rd for somebody to bring this property into compliance. Failing that, we would be back for a hearing on September 4th. The city is also seeking case prosecution costs for this evening's case presentation.
Based upon the testimony and the evidence presented, I find that the violation exists and continues to exist. I will impose the court costs. The abatement date, under the circumstances that this has been pending for quite some time, testimony was that the vehicles have been there for a few years. September 3rd, 2013 would seem very reasonable, and I'll accept that. And I would recommend that that due consideration be given to a daily fine of $150 per day. If in this particular instance, due to the numerous violations and the length of some of them, if the abatement date is not, things have not been cured by that time. But ultimately, I'll be up to the special magistrate at that time.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, this concludes the presentation of the cases set for tonight, and we have no other old business, unfinished business, and no new business for this evening. And if it be your pleasure, it is now 7:39, and we will adjourn.
Okay, we stand adjourned, and thank you.
Thank you.